So glad that you could join us today for today's devotional. Today I want to focus on intercession. Intercession is when we pray for somebody else. How do we intercede? And one of the first models of intercessions in the Bible, and the first one where a significant amount of content materials devoted to the subject matter of intercession is found in Genesis 18. And there we find that Abraham is interceding for Sodom and Gomorrah. There are three quick things that I want to share with you that you could apply to today's prayer and devotion in your life as you intercede for others. The first one was that he identified. He began to identify with the people in Sodom and Gomorrah. He had a burden. He had a passion for them. He put himself in their place and presented. He stood before the Lord and said, God, would you reconsider your action? I want you to avert this judgment that you have upon the people in Sodom and Gomorrah. And what's interesting is that he had no personal vested interest in seeing them not be judged. And yet he identified with them. The second thing is not only to identify, but agonize. You see his struggle. You see him going back and forth with the Lord. He said, God, there are 50 righteous people. And then he brings it down, to 30, and then to 20, and then all the way down to 10. I believe he stopped at 10 because he figures, man, there has to be at least 10 righteous people in this city. And lo and behold, that was not the case. But nevertheless, we see a good model and where he agonized. The greatest intercessors that I have ever met in my life are those who agonize. You see also in the biblical examples and paradigms when you see the intercessors interceding for their city, and there was a struggle. There was the Greek word is agonizo. There's a wrestling that takes place, and you find that in Ephesians chapter 6 and also you find that motif throughout the New Testament where it uses the word agonizo, to agonize. There's a struggle. There is a back and forth, and it's just a really burning in the heart. One of those was George Mueller, who started 117 schools and many orphanages. So when man devoted to prayer, it said that he got answers over 5,000 his prayer. But he had 5 friends who didn't know the Lord, and he gave himself to prayer to them. A couple of them got saved, and then after a few months, and then a couple of others after 10 years. But there was one that held off. And after praying 66 years and 8 months of agonizing in prayer, of praying for their soul, that one finally came to the Lord before George Mueller's coffin went down. Oh boy, it might be a long stride, it might be a long agonizing, but you could be assured that God hears your prayers through intercession. And the last thing is not only to identify, not only to agonize, but to authorize. And at the end, God will give you the authorization. And God authorized that moment that if there were 10 righteous people in the city, that God was going to avert judgment. He had that assurance. Abraham walked away, authorized, knowing that if that was the case, that condition was met, that they were going to be free from judgment. Well, I pray that today you will be able to apply this in intercession life, and so you could become a greater intercessor. God bless you, and may the Lord answer your prayers today.